For the uninitiated, Team Ladybug is an accomplished developer of brief 2D Metroidvanias like Record of Lodoss War and Touhou Luna Nights. Now, the team is continuing their wave of acclaim with the release of Blade Chimera, a compact yet ambitious, story-heavy sci-fi adventure. So, let's look into this game. Blade Chimera takes place in the near future when demons and other monstrosities suddenly appear and spark a war. This unending conflict has created a new status quo led by human-run religious groups called the Holy Union. Still, even with what feels like two clear-cut sides, matters aren't so straightforward. The protagonist, Shin, a top-tier demon hunter who wakes from cryopreservation after several years, discovers truths that challenge the Holy Union's sanctity. Complicating things further is his new sword, which houses Lux, a friendly demon. While the gameplay mainly takes center stage, Blade Chimera also offers a brisk yet engaging narrative that fulfills its thematic goals. Shin is a no-nonsense protagonist who sticks to his still evolving ideals. He's a pretty endearing lead, and I found myself siding with him when confronted by the obvious corruption and conspiracy fueling this war. However, the supporting cast, including Lux, doesn't get enough screen time or memorable interactions to make much of a mark in this intricate setting. They save their roles for plot progression, but never go beyond that. In terms of gameplay, Blade Chimera is a bit of a mixed bag. Shin can wield various weapon types including blades and firearms and equip them simultaneously. They function as expected, and you can find or purchase more powerful versions if you want. The central mechanic that sets this apart is Lux. As a demon sword separate from Shin's usual arsenal, she's always around and serves multiple purposes. In combat, Lux can be sent forward or stuck in place, with the latter causing repeated damage to all enemies in her path. If thrust downward, she forms a barrier that absorbs incoming mini projectiles. These abilities alone would be plenty, but they become even stronger since hitting enemies and projectiles with Lux directly heals Shin. Unfortunately, Lux is almost too powerful, significantly reducing the game's difficulty. Her overpowered nature becomes especially clear in boss battles. Once you learn the basic patterns, you can heal Shin at any time. As a result, consumable items feel useless, especially since regular enemies respawn after a single screen transition, allowing you to essentially heal from Lux whenever you want. Even the MP gauge that supposedly limits Lux's availability doesn't really have much of an impact. It's a shame because Shin's movements and actions feel terrific, and different weapons have distinct weight categories that affect swing speed, but Lux's powers, and even the guns, often trivialize combat. Let's be clear though, fights aren't completely mindless. You still need basic understanding of enemy movesets, yet there's little motivation to experiment with equipment when the game never truly engages it. On the bright side, the skill tree adds meaningful perks. Learning abilities like mid-air dash feel genuinely rewarding. This leads to the standout feature of exploration and level design. Apart from the few too many straightforward corridors filled with enemies, there are plenty of branching paths and optional puzzle piece collectibles leading to secret areas, making thorough exploration feel worthwhile. Lux is also cleverly used during exploration. She can rewind time on certain objects for platforming or act as a weight on switches. With a convenient fast travel system in place, you can see new areas without wasting too much time. If you want more to do, the game has a handful of side quests, though they can often feel like busy work without much payoff. Overall, Blade Chimera ran smoothly on PC, though I experienced some random frame rate drops and even a crash that shut down my entire computer, but hopefully that's always a rare issue, and I'd still recommend checking this game out. Despite inventive mechanics and well-designed foes, Blade Chimera doesn't reach the same exhilarating heights as Team Ladybug's other projects. With the balance too skewed in the player's favor, you can easily rely on the same strategies without much variation or risk. Still, the core combat feels excellent, and the multi-layered exploration is fantastic, reinforcing a sense of progression. Blade Chimera won't probably be for everyone, but it may resonate with players who click with its particular style. Noisy Pixel is giving Blade Chimera a 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy pixel.